Notts County Talk, we are live for episode 17 of the Pavis Perspective podcast. You might notice that one of us looks a little bit different tonight. George, you've got some glasses, mate.
Channel debut, yeah. I've only had them a week. I mean, you're no stranger to noticing it. I mean, the only reason I really noticed how bad my vision was getting recently was at Notts. I couldn't recognise some of the players. I sit quite high up in the Pavis, and someone scored, and I literally couldn't figure out who it was. The attendance on the board got it wrong.
That's when I knew you needed glasses. What was it? Some away fans, 521, and it comes up on the ball 521. He was like, "There's not 21 people here.
There's more than 52 people over there."
Yeah, something like that. So that's it, isn't it? Got your glasses making a channel debut. So we had a week off from Notts, didn't we?
Yeah.
Saturday off. It's a rare one, especially in the National League, but obviously we didn't get through in the FA Cup. Chesterfield did. They won, and they've now got Chelsea. It's good to have a game again this weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So what did you do with your Saturday off?
What did I do with my Saturday off? Not a whole deal, to be honest with you. Not a whole deal. I took my daughter out on a bike down to Home Pier Point. That was about it, really.
Lovely. I put the Christmas tree up.
Mine's been up since about September at this point.
We know that. Saturday off football, this is when you know it's bad. Put the Christmas tree up. Within 3 minutes, the cat a bit through the lights, and it was not good. It was not good. So let's get on with the episode then. If you have any questions, as always, put them in the chat box to the underneath the video or to the side for us, as we can see. One thing I quickly want to say is we've done a lot of giveaways of of the mugs we've got, and we've done them on this channel live. We've got one on Twitter at the minute, and it's actually a Twitter giveaway. So if you want to try and win the last mug we've got, literally the last mug we haven't given away, if you want to go over to Twitter, find the tweet. It's pinned to our Twitter account. You have to quote tweet it with your favourite ever Notts player. There's a load of Lee Hughes's there, load of Lee Hughes fans. We're going to pick completely at random 7 p.m. on Sunday. You got your mug with you today?
I haven't, no. I'm doing another experiment, aren't I?
What's your experiment?
I've made a cup of coffee. What day is it today? Thursday. It's 3 days ago. I made it on Monday. Yeah. I've put it in my freezer. I checked it just before we came live, and it's still hot.
You're joking, aren't you?
I'm being deadly serious.
Unbelievable. That's class. That is. It's not the mug we've got given away, is it? No, you're not using that one.
Might be.
No, it's not. If you do win that mug, it's not given away. Charlie, thoughts on the new loan signing? We're going to go on to that in a minute. Also, we've got some stats today that are quite interesting regarding wing-backs. So Dale Kelly-Evans, Joel Taylor, and obviously Jaden Richardson, who have signed a loan from Forest that Charlie's just talked about. Notts County Stats. So Richard from Notts County Stats has provided us with some really great insights. It's interesting stuff, isn't it, to look at, George?
Very, yeah.
And obviously, looking at the stats tells us a lot. Even in it does tell us a lot because the club use stats obviously in almost everything they do. So having a look is it opened my eyes to a few things, especially as people have been saying different things about our wing backs. So George, what I wanted to say is, as we start to head towards January, how do you assess the squad currently? And as Charlie said, thoughts on the loan signing?
Yeah, it's a funny one, isn't it, really? Because it doesn't feel like the squad needs lots added into it. And you sort of feel like if a couple of players sort of put in a few consistently good performances, we wouldn't need replacements. I'm thinking more the likes of Kyra Mitchell. If he started scoring freely, or if he started just improved his hold-up play a little bit more, sort of playing a bit more of that Wotton role. I don't think we'd need that striker that everyone's talking about. But then again, we don't really have that all-out goal scorer, do we? So, I mean, for me, if I was to rate the squad that we have now out of 10 in terms of chances of getting promoted, I'm saying 8 out of 10.
You reckon 8 out of 10?
Yeah.
I think the squad's good, and as the players started to come in, Richardson's just come in. I'm looking at it, and on the face of it, what is it? A month loan from Forest, a player that, to be honest, I've not heard of before. Forest fans tell me he's good, so some of the Forest fans I know tell me that he's good.
Same, yeah.
But like it's a month loan. But I look at it and I look at the players that we've also brought in before. Patterson turned out to be fantastic. Turned out to be really, really good. Everyone we brought in, the centre back that came in from Sheffield Wednesday, his name is literally escaping me now.
Brennan.
Brennan. Brennan was good when he came in. I remember Yeovil away; he was fantastic, wasn't he? Really, really good. We then brought in the lad that's just came in. It must be injured now. If Richardson's coming in.
Do you know what? I watched the presser that Birchall did. It was up yesterday, I think it was, and I don't think he is injured. It's just that the new signings obviously used to playing fullback, so they wanted to sort of assess him into a wing back, whereas he's not, is he? He's more of a winger, isn't he?
Yeah, maybe you could get some attacking play from him. I thought he looked good when he came on. He did look good when he came on, when he started. I thought he was decent.
Yeah, he did.
So actually, like you say, the squad for me is a strong squad. Like it is. You hear reports, whether it's made up or not, you hear reports of things like Jack Wilshere being interested, showing interest from Wrexham and things like that. You can't compete. Connor Parsons, Joe says, thank you. That's his name, Connor Parsons, that came in. I thought he was very, very good, and yeah, Joe rated him as well. But you look at those, and I think we're doing some smart business at the minute. You know, if you can bring someone in that is at the level of a player we've got injured or ill, in Dion's case, I think, and bring them in, and they play like they did. Parsons slotted straight in. You wouldn't know Parsons had trained for one day, would you?
No, not all. And do you know what? He was a decent shot away from having the perfect start, wasn't he? He had a few decent attempts from the edge of the area,
and he wasn't scared as well. So he came in, he did his job. I look at the rest of the squad, and I feel confident that. Do I think a team can get promoted doing what we're doing? No, I don't think you can just keep bringing loan players in. I think January we're going to do something. I do think January we're going to do something. Chris here says, I think Birchall is looking for a long-term right wing back. We'll get onto that in a second when we go through the stats. But I don't think it's possible to get promoted doing what we're doing right now. If we're going to improve it, we might even be looking to improve the squad. We might just be looking to patch the squad up while players are ill or injured. If we want to improve the squad, we need to sign permanent, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I can't. Could you see getting promoted this way? I can't.
What the way that we're doing things right now?
Right now, bringing in people for a month and things like that. For me, it's just not going to work.
I don't know, because you look at the likes of Patterson, like he was good, wasn't he? And these 1 month loans, it's sort of good for both clubs, because if he plays well for us, we can ask to extend that contract. If you don't play so well for us, he's gone back then. So it's sort of reassurance for us. It's only a month if it's not going so well, and then if it is a month, we can extend it. Because I feel like, especially with the Forest loanee, we've got good communication there. I mean, it was only a couple of games back. Andy Reid was sat a few seats up from us, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And he does a lot of work with the under-23. So I think we've got a good dialogue with Forest. I do feel like if he does well, we could probably maybe see until the end of the season. Who knows? So it's in one way it's good, and I know what you're saying. It's not the best way to do things. It's better if they're your player and they're your asset. But to be honest with you now, I mean, I don't want to sound like moany, but I'm starting to get to the point now where we're 3 seasons into the National League. If us, I mean, obviously it wouldn't be, but if the starting 11 was all loan players and it got promoted, I wouldn't care.
Yeah, obviously, and I know we're going to talk about this later when we get to wing backs. You said you're Rufus now. You said you don't care how we get promoted, just get promoted. I completely agree with you. But yeah, that's the point we're at now. Like more so than another season of National League. I couldn't even do the playoffs. Like the playoffs, the first year of the playoffs was so much excitement, and then the second year was like, okay, well, we might do it this year because we didn't do it again. I'm not feeling that at all. I'm really, really not feeling that. Anyway, let's have a look in the comment section. There's a lot of things flying in already, so evening, everyone. Here we go. Charlie, have you guys seen the Christmas photo? You can see Pato at the back. That flew straight into our group chat, didn't it? Along with Will, Jordan, all the regulars. Yeah, I think it would have been arranged before. I think he would have been invited, and I think you can't then say, well, you've gone back to Sunderland, you're not coming. I don't think he's coming back.
Big factor is that Christmas party was actually in Newcastle, and Sunderland is basically Newcastle.
You've got the inside info, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm going to rattle some Sunderland fans. Sunderland is Newcastle. I'm joking. Okay. I'm joking.
Careful, but I don't think he's coming back. And I've seen a few reports like from what the Sunderland manager said. I don't think he's coming back. I don't think he needs to come back. I think it just unsettled things a little bit. So we sort of spoke on this last week. Yeah. I did see, and it's interesting because you never know in football, and it was a good spot. And based off all that, the Christmas photo is great. Like they're all dressed as different players. If you haven't seen it, try and find it on Twitter. It is really good.
I like Elijah Sands the best. I think he's probably the best one.
Who was he dressed as?
Oh, what's his name? Oh, I can't remember what his name is.
Can't be that good, then, can it?
His name skipped my mind. He played for Chelsea, Dutch midfielder.
What?
Oh, I can't remember.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. It literally cannot be that good if you can't remember his name.
I'm going to Google it while you talk.
Yeah, fair enough. Max says we can get promoted if Tashimanga stops scoring. That is the problem. But if you watched our video with Ruben, and I hope you have, and I hope you enjoyed it, then Ruben actually goes along and says he doesn't think he'll score on the 21st when we go. Who is going to Chesterfield, by the way, on the 21st? We've got our tickets and trains, George, £4 for a train. You can't get away for £4. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's very good. So if anyone's watching and struggling for transport ideas, get the train. It's very cheap.
£4.80 to return. You can't even buy a pie from that these days. You can't. I think you're thinking of Hullet, George. That's what people are saying. Rude Hullet.
Hullet, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Is that who it's dressed as?
Yeah.
Yeah. Charlie says, I think Tashimanga will go in January. Now, we know someone that's from Sunderland, don't we? And living in Nottingham. And they've said they have heard that from a fair few people that Sunderland are seriously interested in Tashimanga. Now, if that was the case, happy days. But it's going to be a lot. The money they paid for him, they're going to be wanting to take a lot of money for that, aren't they? Definitely.
I don't really think they'll try everything in their power to not sell him as well this season.
Yeah, football doesn't seem as easy as it once was to buy players either. I don't think people are more willing. Like you've got players dropping down 2 divisions to come and play in the National League. It doesn't seem the only lure is that Sunderland is a huge club.
Huge, yeah.
And then there's Chesterfield, which is a tiny, tiny club. I'm surprised they're not Sunday League, but that's the only thing you've really got going for you is how big Sunderland are. Have you seen the video the other day of players walking out from the opposition at Sunderland? And it's caught on like a camera that's just filming anyway. Like I don't know, it might be like a security camera, and the 2 players from the other team say like, "How is this the League One stadium?"
Yeah,
like, it is that. So you've got that on your side. Anyway, I want to talk about the wing backs then, since we've just been talking about it. And a lot of people have been thinking that, do we need this right wing back? What initially, before I go on to stats provided by Richard, so thank you. If you don't follow Richard on Twitter at Notts County Stats, must follow him. Really interesting stuff about showing how Slocum has a 3rd highest save rate in the league. Just it's a very good Twitter account. So do follow him. So how do you feel about the wing back situation? Because we're playing with wing backs for the rest of the season, I think, like it or not.
Yeah, definitely.
Joel Taylor, incredible.
Yeah. Probably one of the first names on the team sheet now, isn't he? But in terms of the 2 newest arrivals to Notts, it is a strange one, isn't it? Really, when you think about they're both the same position, and it's weird because the same thing happened under Ardley last season. Was it last season? Yeah, last season. Same thing happened under Ardley. Can you remember when Birchall came in? I think we had 4 right backs.
Yeah,
right back FC. Yeah, but like I was saying, Parsons is more of a winger, but he's trying to go into that wing back position. So yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? But then we've got Dion as well, but he is ill at the moment. I know that. So I don't know. I don't know if they're not maybe overwhelmed with Parsons. I'm not sure. It's a difficult one, isn't it? You're never really going to get that brutally honest answer from the Maya, so it's difficult to put your finger on why they bought in someone else. But for
Yeah.
me, it signifies that maybe I don't know. They're not. I don't know. I don't know.
I just wonder two things from that, from what you're saying, sprung to mind. Two things is first thing, is it because Nemain is injured and they're going to think well, if we've got the option now, we'll have Parsons as an attacking option and we'll get someone else. And the second thing I want to know is that it now for Richard Brindley at wing back? Because he's great in the central position. I don't
Yeah,
think Bertrand ever wants to take him out of there.
yeah. No, I agree. I think Brindley right centre back. He's brilliant. He breaks the lines really well. That's the thing with his driving runs, and we talk about that. I feel like every game we go to when we do the player ratings. So yeah, I feel like as far as wing back goes, yeah, no,
Yeah, I think
Brindley's.
he's done in it. He's not a wing back, and I don't actually. He's better at that third centre back position and wing back as well. So I've said it months ago. It's like having Kyle Walker in there. It reminds me of when England play Kyle Walker, someone that's athletic in that position.
Yeah,
It does gets us out so many holes. It really does. So yeah, that interests me. So going on then, we asked Richard for a few stats on the wing backs, attacking, defensive, and in possession. And he's come up with some really great things. Now I'm going to put some on the screen now. If you're on a larger computer, you'll be able to see it and read it clearly. You might be able to on your phone if you're watching it on there, or a tablet. But we're going to talk through it as well. So let's have a quick look. Can we see that? Let's put me and George at the bottom for now. So this is comparing Joel Taylor and Dion Kelly-Evans in 90 minutes. So I've also been given some stats by Richard on Richardson that's just signed as well. So it's really interesting. As you can see there, Taylor in the blue, attacking wise, slightly on top. Defensively, Dion Kelly-Evans on top with the stats. And in possession, apart from, as you can see, right at the bottom there, expected assists where Dion is being absolutely hammered, it's pretty much even. So from this, attacking wise, it basically tells us that Joel Taylor is best on, even though they're pretty even, he's best on pretty much all the attacking stats. He does the more progressive runs, and he puts far more crosses into the box. You can see that, can't you, George? You can literally see that.
Oh yeah,
Throughout
100%.
the game.
Yeah.
And that's backed up here by the stats. If we had Richardson, now we've got to think Richardson hasn't played in Birchnell's system, so the stats are kind of skewed. It's the way that he's been playing at Forest and the under 23s. Richardson has far less crosses, and he does like to dribble more than both of these other players. Joe says the stats are really cool. They are, aren't they? The visuals from Richard are fantastic. As we say, go and check out his website. Go and follow him on Twitter. So what stood out to me there, George, is fouls suffered. So Dion gets fouled so many more times a game than Taylor. Yep. That sums him up, doesn't
it? It absolutely does, yeah. It really does. I love to see like a figure as well for amount of players squared up to.
Oh, Dion's like expected scraps. That should be a new start. Dion 11 a game, expected scraps. Everyone else is like 0.4.
Expected scraps.
If you would like expected scraps to be looked at, message Richard on Twitter because I'm sure we'll be able to find that for you. Message Richard at Notts County Stats and just put hashtag expected scraps. So yeah, as you can see from this, Dion is a workhorse. Defensively then, so Taylor really does come like higher in the attacking side, more crosses, more dribbles. I said Richardson beats both on the dribbles, but the crosses from Richardson are far less, 4.44 a game for Taylor, 4.11 for Dion. It's like 2.3 for Richardson. It's not, it must be the way they play. Defensively though, Dion Kelly-Evans on top with most of his stats. This is ridiculous. Aerial duels won from Dion Kelly-Evans is at 42%. He wins nearly half the aerial battles. That is absolutely unbelievable. Like Joel Taylor has won 38%.
It's crazy. It's crazy because you got to think. Another stat maybe. Where does Dion rank in terms of height in the National League? He must be one of the smallest players. Yeah, he's got to be like bottom 5 smallest players.
Yeah, he's got to. I'm just looking at the comments. Jordan, expected beef. Just tweet them all to Richard. I'm sure we'll be able to find it. Expected scraps, expected beef, everything. But yeah, he's got to be one of the smallest. And to be winning 42% of the duels, like aerial duels, that's mad. That's crazy. The only game
Yeah.
I've seen him dominate, and it was quite a poor one from everyone, was Tyrrell Waite really did lean into him and
Yeah.
had him all game and Tamworth away. But that for me is massive. Defensive duels then, so sort of tackles, Dion well on top there, ahead of Joel Taylor. But interestingly, ahead of both in defensive duels is Richardson. He comes out on top, about 57%. So over half the tackles he sort of wins. And then finally we look at possession, which is really interesting. So I'll just take us off the screen for this one, George, just right at the bottom there. So for that, Kelly Evans and Taylor, they're pretty even for almost everything. You can see that on the bottom one for possession. Dion Kelly Evans, this surprised me. He has more passes into the final third and the opposition penalty area. Now, I don't know if that's because... do you think it's because Taylor's dribbles more willing to dribble, I think, and put that cross in?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you look at a lot of Taylor's play, it's sort of linked up, isn't it, with either Kyle Cameron, who's on his side at the back, or a midfielder, and then he'll do the run.
Yeah.
Whereas Dion, he sort of links up a bit further up the pictures, and he doesn't tend to do the long runs down the line, does he?
Yeah, exactly. Both Dion and Taylor have one assist, but if you look at the bottom there, 0.03 expected assists for Dion. So if I'm getting that right, that's saying that in 100 games you're expecting Dion to get 3 assists. In 100 games you're expecting Taylor to get almost 20 assists. Massive difference, and that for me is where, like I think Charlie might have said earlier, or someone said, that for me is where Bertrand might be looking to change it up, because we can't be one-dimensional down the left all the time. I mean, 3 assists in 100 games compared to 20 assists in 100 games on average. You're looking at 1 in 5 games.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
That's a stat as well, where if you equal that out and bring that up, and they're both on the similar stats, you're obviously, your goals are rising. And this is something that me and Tom was talking about. We seem to be coming towards the top of a lot of the good side of the stats now, and it definitely feels like that's the direction that the club are going in it. And it's actually really good to see that we're assessing these little statistics, isn't it?
I think it's important.
It's very important, very, very important, and we're pushing all these little statistics, which drives you naturally in the direction of promotion.
Yeah, it is. It's the little margins that get you wins, isn't it? It's the little margins. What that stat also then tells me is that why on earth hasn't Taylor got more than 1 assist? And there it goes back to the finishing, doesn't it? There we go. Yeah. Taylor had 19 assists if we had a lethal striker. A lethal striker, maybe not 19 assists, but he could have 4 or 5, and those 4 or 5 could equal out to 6 or 7 more points, and we'll be top of the league. I remember an open. I'm not digging water out here, just one I remember. Do you remember the cross where he missed a literal open goal?
Yeah.
That's an assist. Taylor's stats could be massively higher, all on the attacking stats. So really interesting. And the final thing, Richardson's obviously not on here. He has far less pass accuracy, far less passes into the final third and into the opposition penalty area. But it could be a way that he is he's utilised at Forest. It'd be interesting to reassess the stats, seeing on how he's played. So those stats, the layout of them is fantastic. Really enjoyed and that from Richard. If you'd like to see more of those, let us know. Please let us know now or in the comments later on the video, and just tweet Richard and thank him for that, because it really was. It was great time to have from him.
I'd like to see more of those.
Yeah, I definitely would. Stats are the club's way forward, and I think it's possibly a way we could delve deeper.
100%.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. Saturday will be interesting to see. Definitely will. So let's go on to our opponents for Saturday then. Southend United. George, for people that haven't seen what's just happened to Southend.
They're in a bit of free fall, aren't they, really?
Yeah.
It's a bit of a, I don't know. Seems a bit disastrous, doesn't it, really? It's quite public what's going on with their owner. They've just come under an embargo as well, haven't they? Just as it gets to January. So it's just unsettling, isn't it, for the club? I know some of their fans aren't happy with recruitment at all.
I would say they've got Reece Murphy, though.
Good striker. He is, but
7 in 15.
Yeah, it's not bad return, is it? Right? Well, it's quite a good return, that is, actually. Yeah, that's pretty much it, really. Not too dissimilar to Notts, really. I don't think.
Yeah.
When we came down, but obviously when we came down, we were lucky enough to get the owners that we have now. But unfortunately, they still have the owner that sort of brought them down, and there's a lot going on behind the scenes with that, isn't there?
Yeah, and it didn't end well for us, like you just said. So, you never like see teams like that. You're hearing Yeovil, there's like possibility of them being wound up. Like football's crazy at the minute. So they obviously played against Maidenhead. From what I've read, Maidenhead 1-1 in the week. Southend were poor. They were really poor. They've played Tuesday night, I think. Notts haven't played. We've had a big rest. Do you think that's a factor, George, or do you think it's just not?
I don't know. This not really. There's two ways to look at it, isn't there? We're not. I think we're a club that like to play, a squad that like to play and keep playing consistently. But on the flip side of that, it looks like they've done some interesting stuff this week at Loughborough University. Don't know if anyone's seen the video that was put out on the socials, but Ruben was, I think it was an Olympic boxer. He was in the ring with an Olympic boxer, and he didn't look out of place, did he?
No.
I genuinely feel like give that man anything, and he'll probably succeed in it and excel. So
yeah. I've just had a message sent on Twitter from, I think it's Charlie. He's just sent it through on Twitter. Most accurate passer in the National League. Obviously, I can't fit this up. I think Ed Francis is top.
Yeah.
It's like 90-something% of passes are accurate.
Yeah,
and Carl Cameron's up there. Anthony Patterson is up there.
Yeah, he's near the bottom though, isn't he? For like the graphs.
The amount of passes, yeah.
Yeah, but his accuracy's up there.
Unbelievable. Ed Francis, I'm there bashing him, and he's got in. So it's like 91% pass accuracy. That's mad because he only passes to Joel Taylor. So that's phenomenal.
I'd just like to say I backed him from day one.
You backed him from day one, but he ain't getting back in this side anytime soon.
I'm in the holding midfielders union.
Yeah, well, he's not getting back in anytime soon. I'm afraid. Yeah, so that's what I mean. Stats are interesting. Doesn't tell a whole story. You need the rounded stats, sort of like Richard centers. Like I'd like to know where Ed Francis does pass the ball. Is it sideways? Is it backwards? Is it forwards? Is it out to Taylor every time? I don't know. Interesting, but we'll carry on with Ed Francis, best midfielder in the league. How do you block comments on here? I'm not having that. So we're looking back at Southend then. Our side, I don't think will change too much. I really don't. Southend are not doing very well in the league. It's obvious to say. And to say how Notts have been playing, it's really tightened up, hasn't it, George? Massively tightened up.
Massively.
I think there's not realistically, mathematically, there's like 8 teams that can still challenge for that title. Realistically, how many do you think there are? I think 4.
Yeah, probably agree. Probably 4.
Let's go together. So Notts.
Yep.
Chesterfield.
Wrexham.
Stockport. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see those as the 4 people that can still challenge. Now we're playing Southend. The side. I don't want to say. I put Southend to finish 3rd in my preseason predictions. I thought something might happen miraculous. A bit of a wild card. They currently sit 19th. They scored 14, conceded 26. They are level on points with Weymouth, who also sit in the relegation zone. But like Ian has just said earlier, they're not going to be a pushover. We don't make anything easy, do we?
No. To be fair to them, though, they've picked 4 points up from the last 2 games.
Yeah, they have. And the sides they've played in those games, they won 2-1 away at Altrincham. Well, Altrincham gave us a battering. And hopefully they don't do it in the FA Trophy. But they're beating a team that beat Notts, and they should have beaten Maidenhead. But apparently they just couldn't put the ball in the net. They were pretty poor. Before that, then they've lost to Grimsby, Woking, Chesterfield, Bournemouth, and Dagenham. They've not had easy run-ins. So again, it cannot be a game where we take it for granted. But I like to think Meadow Lane it's a hard place it's a difficult place to come. No one's like coming there this season, have they, at all? So
maybe Woking.
We won't talk about that. Anyway, that was just because it was. Yeah, that was just an off day.
It was raining, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was raining, only for Notts though, I think. So, and some people didn't even see the rain. I don't think it was raining. We've left out Bournemouth there. Ian says Bournemouth are doing very well, and if Ranger hits form, they could keep it up. Right.
To be fair, as well, they are in the FA Cup as well. That always helps, doesn't it? Bit of a FA Cup run and alongside the league.
What, Boreham Wood?
Yeah.
Yeah. My thoughts on that is if I was a side that have lost Tashamanga, I don't know what anyone else thinks about this, lost Tashamanga, and then you're second in the National League, unbelievably, let's say they've done very, very, very well. I wouldn't bring someone like Mal Ranger in at my club. He's had like 5 fresh starts, and every time he mucks it up.
Yeah,
I wouldn't rock the boat like that.
I know what you mean. I agree. But on the flip side to that, because of his track record, it's not like he's going to have a fantastic contract, I don't think. I mean, I don't know. This is all my beliefs. But for me, a player with his track record and history, you sort of going to put something, Chris. You're surely going to have some sort of clause in the contract where if he does something or he does something so many times, your contract will be terminated or something like that. Because I can't really see many clubs higher up the pyramid offering something because of the chances that he has been given. So it's a funny situation, isn't it? But knowing Notts' luck, he'll probably light it up now and be like the best player in the National League.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, Ian. Like, he's got the ability, but like it could happen, and I hope it doesn't, because everything seems to go out of favour for Notts this season. Teams getting red cards against the people we don't want them to get red cards against. Teams giving penalties away. Ranger will probably hit form, but I see it. Even if he does hit form before he's even played a game, I see it as a risk. I do see it as a risk.
Yeah, it is a risk, but it's probably a little bit more calculated than people may think.
Maybe. I don't know. It's a tricky one. Right, we'll go for our team then. We'll go for our side to play against Southend on Saturday. Can't wait. And I'm so glad it's not a 5:20 kickoff, because I did not enjoy that one bit.
No, I didn't. Really threw me, I did. Really threw me.
It just didn't feel right.
Late for bed. Right.
Yeah, your bedtime's 5:30. Gets earlier every episode we do this, but you need your sleep.
That's why my eyes are gone.
Chris has put another comment. I'm not going to put that one on the screen, but you can see that in the chat. In goal, where you going with, George?
Slocum, obviously.
Slocum, yeah, Slocum in goal. Left wing back. The man that's got 0.19 expected assist. It's got to be Joel Taylor. Back 3. Cameron and Brindley.
Yes.
And
Lacey.
I want Adam Chicks in him. Never done anything wrong. Ryan says, just seen a mince pipe hole. We'll definitely look at that in a second. That's an important one. Yeah, I'd have him at centre back. I'd have central centre back as Carl Cameron, and I'd have Chickson and Brindley. I think Chickson deserves it. I really do. Lacey can't play 20 minutes at the minute. He's got glass ankles or whatever. Get Chickson on. He's not got anything wrong. Chickson centre forward. He's not centre forward. But yeah, Lacey is class. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a bit of a Chickson fan. But and then right wing back. Think he comes straight in, or do you think Parsons plays?
To me, for someone who's on a month-long loan, it would make sense for him to slot him, wouldn't it? But then Parsons on a short-term loan as well, isn't he? So
yeah,
who knows?
Do you remember that lad we bought in from, like, I think it was Sunderland last season on like a month-long loan at right back? I think he played like 40 minutes, gave away like their chance for the goal, and got injured and never played again.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I can't remember what his name is.
Oh, that was mad. But
Gold
yeah,
I can't remember.
It wasn't it a double barrel name? I think it was. Anyway, Richardson for me if Kelly Evans is ill.
Why not Parsons?
Pressure me. Like you just said, month-long loan. I don't think you bring his Golden. Or it might have been Golden actually that came in. Yeah,
Golden. That was it. Tyler Golden.
Yeah. I think Richardson, because I've heard a lot of things from Forest fans. But Parsons is good. I'd take either of them, but I think Kelly Evans is ill. So, midfield against Southend, Meadow Lane, crowd behind us, freezing cold. Is it going to be a battle? I'll play Vincent and Palmer.
Yeah, and then sort of in front of them, play Adam Chickson.
I'm not playing Adam Chickson in front of them. Because he's at the back.
No, Callum Roberts.
Cal Roberts, Ruben and Wootton.
Yes.
Yeah, I call that. Yeah. That's it. Ryan says he was called Kenton something. I think he was. It was Kenton Richardson and Tyler Golden.
Yeah, it's Kenton. Yeah, Kenton Richards.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Was it Richards?
I don't think it was Richardson. I'm not sure. But that's our team. It's pretty similar. Score predictions then. Start to get your score predictions in before we have a look at our poll for the night. I'm going to go first today. And I'm going to say Notts County 2, Southend United 1. And I think there's a goal for Carl Wootton. And I think there's a goal for Frank Vincent.
I'm going to go for a steady 3-1. Ruben, Wootton, and Carl Cameron.
Sorry. We've got a 2-0. We've got a 1-0. We've got a 5-0 Notts. We've got a 3-0 Chickson hat-trick, Ed Francis 3 assists. I feel like some of these aren't quite serious.
It's out of hand.
It's getting out of hand with some of these predictions. We've got a 3-0 Eli Sam hat-trick. Again, I'm not sure that's going to happen. 3-0, 2 for Cal, 1 for Palmer. I say this every week. Palmer is completely, like, he's so due a goal.
Yeah,
he's come close so many times. 3-1. Yeah, I do feel confident. I don't think it'll be easy. But like someone said earlier, if we come out the block straight away, like we have done, like against Dagenham defended well. Not every team will be able to keep us out the way we started that game, I don't think. And I think we've got a squad that you say like to keep playing. They're going to be buzzing for this game. Like they've had the week off. They want to play. And Max has gone realistic. He thinks it's going to be a 4-1 victory. Yeah, I think we'll get a couple, and I just don't think Southend will be able to deal with us.
I think that is the key component in it. You know, if we got an early goal from the way that we do come out of the blocks, I think it could be a demolition. And I feel like at some point in the season it's going to happen. It just depends who it's against, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is going to happen again, definitely. I don't know if it'll be this game. I don't know. I feel like around Christmas things start to tighten up a little bit because people are nervous of going on a bad run around Christmas, and they're just not. They're a little bit conservative, I think.
Yeah.
Something I want to talk about, George, which we had a discussion about yesterday, quite a lengthy discussion, and I really would like people watching to get what their thoughts in the comments. You might not know what I'm going to say, George, but the atmosphere at Meadow Lane is decent. It's okay. I've seen teams start to make sort of a singing section, an atmosphere section, where they put they get people that want to be part of it, and they might be 100 season ticket holders, 200 season ticket holders, that want to sit maybe in the cop towards the side of the Pavis, and they just keep the atmosphere going all game, every game. So I want to know what people's thoughts on that are. What was your thoughts, George? We've already spoke about that. What were your pros and cons sort of thing? I think that if you can increase the atmosphere at Meadow Lane, I think that's got to be a priority.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think there is any cons to it, to be honest with you. I think the most difficult thing is sort of getting people on board with the idea, isn't there? Like maybe I don't know, getting the club behind it and just promoting that sort of singing section. And I don't know, it'd be difficult to sort of orchestrate, wouldn't it? But if the club could bring something together and orchestrate something like that, it'd be brilliant, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because I've seen it. I don't know whether we need a higher attendance. Wait, and hopefully we get in there. Pavis needs something from the cop to help you quite a lot in there. I think that whether it's a singing section, designated section, I'm sure there'll be 100, 150 Notts fans that go home and away, especially that would, similar to Palace. Max says, yeah, similar, but on a much smaller scale to Palace, because the Palace atmosphere, they're known for it. If you've got teams coming to Meadow Lane, and Meadow Lane is difficult as it is, and then you add an atmosphere that, when I'm talking a singing section, like Crystal Palace, these are fans that when Notts are 2-0 down, they still sing. They would still sing, Get a drum in there, get more regular songs, because when the wheelbarrow song goes out, it's good. It's an atmosphere that teams aren't going to dislike. They're not going to like playing in that atmosphere, are they? So for me, I think that would be a way to do it. But it'd be interesting to know what people think. definitely. I would be one for it. I think me and you should just do a singing section, personally.
Yeah, you used to be in the choir, didn't you? At school.
Yeah,
I remember.
yeah, I
I
did.
remember
Yeah,
it well.
yeah. There was some good moments in that choir. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple of, if not to get promoted, I'll sing a few. Yeah.
What live on
Live.
YouTube?
I do a couple. Yeah.
So you could possibly be getting a Chesterfield tattoo and singing like a choir boy on the channel by the end of the season. This is brilliant stuff. This is.
Yeah. Yeah, I won't be because they're not going to win the next 4 games. Anyway.
Chesterfield.
Yeah.
It was 3, wasn't it?
It was 4. Don't be silly. It was 4 games. Charlie, singing the wheelbarrow song after Rodriguez winning goal against Grimsby. That's what I mean. Things like that would be fantastic. Like just to get Meadow Lane rocking all the time. Anyway, let's look at our poll. Mince pies, delicious or disgusting? We're going to finish the show with this. What do you think, George? Delicious or disgusting mince pies?
Yeah, they're nice. Yeah, I like them. Delicious.
Delicious. Absolutely. No other adjective I could have used. They're delicious. 63% of people like mince pies. If you're in the 37% of people that dislike mince pies.
60 what?
63% now say that they're good.
Oh my God.
37% don't like a mince pie. I'll tell you what, it's 20 seconds in the microwave, bit of ice cream on the side. That's how you have a mince pie.
Straight out of the packet. None of this heating up nonsense.
No. Microwave mince pie, a little bit of ice cream just starts to melt. Too hot though, and you've had a nightmare. Too hot, and you've ruined your dinner for the next day because you're getting that burnt mouth. You can't be having a hot raisin in that, honestly. So thank you to the people that have voted because we've had a few polls already this season about Christmas trees being up too early. Obviously, George accidentally put his up in November, let people down.
Yeah, it fell off. Next week's poll will be what song Tom's going to sing like a choir boy on the channel at the end of the season.
Yeah, when Notts get promoted. Yeah, prefer a Balti pie. We'll leave it on that, Chris. I think everyone prefers a Balti pie. Yeah.
Chicks and that trick.
Yeah, chicks and that trick. We'll leave it on that. So we are going to have a vlog up from the Southend game. We are also going to have our usual videos, our player ratings, our fan chats at the end of the game. You know, it's the last home league game before Christmas. The atmosphere won't be the same for the Ocean game, and we need to get a victory, don't we, George, going into that Chesterfield one? We've got to get a victory going into Chesterfield away, I think. Yeah, it's really, really pumped up. So if you have enjoyed the video, we are closing in on 1,700 subscribers. If we could get that before the game, that would be amazing. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.